Hello there, and welcome to the Dharma Science Consultation experience. So today I'm basically going to walk through the step-by-step process of what it's like to sign up for a session with me and basically what that means, what we're going to go through. And so if you're new to this channel, feel free to check out the playlist I've got in the title card up here, which is all about some analysis of the charts as a bit of a demonstration of my perspective. And so without further ado, so basically what happens is that if you scroll down into this video's description, you can see that there's a link entitled Private Consultation. And here in this space, if you click on that link, it'll take you to this page right here. This is my link tree where you can see I've got links to my emails, Discord, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and even an email. If you want to directly email me, it's right here. And then this private broadcast session, this is all about where to sign up for a primary session with me. And so if we click into this, we'll see it takes us to this page where we can find the available times as well as a copy of my email to make sure you can access and communicate with me. So down here we're seeing the available times, and so if I'm looking as soon as possible on this Wednesday, I can see a 9 a.m. slot. And so something you might notice about what I'm showing you right here is that we're looking at $72 United States for the minimum donation. And so right now for the first person, maybe two if I'm feeling kind of in that way, it's basically half off at the exact moment that we're walking through all these details to kind of give you a little bit of an incentive to open up the conversation some more. And so basically all I need is I need your name and your email, and then I need your birth information, such as what is your birth date, your time of birth, the city, country, and state. And then if you would, let me know a little bit about yourself. Let me know a little bit about what you're looking to receive from a human design session or from a Dharma science session, and a little about what your experience has been in either life or simply the spiritual path, and a little something about yourself. It's always appreciated. And so after you've signed up there, one of the first things you will receive is right here. This is an example report that's been generated through the aid of Neutrino Design, which is the web application that I utilize for my readings. And so this report will be generated within about a day or so of signing up, that I will send this to you. And so this for me is about a 60-page report, which includes many of your human design details and informations, including my email to make sure you know where to find me in case you need to communicate. And so what you'll see first off here is you'll see a conventional body graph with the variable arrows and the planets on the left and the right, with some additional details down at the bottom to make sure you've got it all easily accessible. Scrolling down, we'll find my preferred chart, which is the Magic Resonance Square chart, which really opens things up in a beautiful way for my own personal analysis and for advanced informations. And then going down even farther, we'll see this wheel chart where we have the mandala behind it. In case you're into astrology, you can see the astro signs around here and how they connect with each gate. And you can see which of your planets are lined up in which gates. As you can see, my most common planet is the 54, where I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 activations in this 54th gate of ambition, which is over here in whichever astrological sign that is. I really can't say I'm sure. Maybe it's Scorpio. I don't know. At any rate, so we see these three primary charts, and then in the report it'll go into your energy centers. As you can see here, it's talking about my undefined head center. The head center is the empowerment to think through questions, doubts, and confusion. Being a pressure center, it pressures for thinking and seeking inspiration. And then it goes into the normal or healthy self, and it goes into the distorted not self. And so this will give you a basic little touching base with the idea of the body graph and what's going on here. Because you can see that it has that for each of these energy centers, whether it is defined or undefined. And it'll say a little bit about the true and the distorted variation of the energy there. And so you can go through and you can read all this about not only your energy centers. If we keep going, it goes through all 9. And then after that, we will see that it goes into the channels that are available. And it gives a description about each of the individual channels that are in your design and in your body graph, which gives you further details for understanding the fixed life force energy that's traveling through you since the moment of your birth. So after those channels, we go into a page or so where it talks about the aura type. Mine is the generator. So as you can see, there's some description about the process of what it means to be a generator, such as by learning to respond to life from your gut and trusting in the timing of the universe, you can overcome fear and frustration and experience a profound sense of satisfaction. It may be tempting to initiate action out of fear that nothing will happen if you wait, but this is often just your mind trying to get in the way. And so that's a little taste of what's going on in these reports here. So that's talking about the generator right there, and now it's talking about the strategy of the generator to respond. Here it's speaking of my emotional inner authority, deeply powerful system here. It's important to know how your authority functions. I mean, it's the basis of making decisions after all. And then after that, it goes into my profile, that of the 1-3, the investigator and the martyr. Beyond that, it goes into my split definition where it talks about how I am interested in finding another half because I am split off within myself. I have 2 definition structures. So I can show you that right over here. You can see how I've got a 952, I've got a 1949, and I've got a 3740, defining my heart to my emotions, to my adrenals, to my sacral. And then over here on the other side, I've got the 18 and I've got the 48 and the 16 defining my spleen to my voice box. And so because I'm a split definition, it can be beneficial to have somebody around who bridges my split and connects my energies and allows them to feel more whole and easy to communicate with each other. And see, this is why I send this report to you almost immediately after signing up, as soon as I can, because then you can look through this stuff and formulate questions. Because if we look back to where it speaks about the split definition, you see, it says, your main theme in life is to find someone who connects those 2 definitions, someone who completes me, in quotes. And so that is something that can be a bit of a trick, a bit of a trap, is that in the mind really wants to find that person who completes me. And if the mind becomes obsessed with that, then the not self, undefined, open center themes and the nature of one's transference will take over in establishing a connection that's not truly fulfilling. However, if I or anybody else is trusting my inner authority and type strategy to make decisions, then there can be a person on the other side who can not simply complete me, who can assist my life in a way that I assist their life, and neither of our lives are detracted from by the interaction, to where we really find a mutual beneficiality, or a win-win-win, win for all involved. And so that's what I was saying, is that I send this out immediately so that you can perhaps read it over and have some questions to ask, if that is the kind of style that you operate from. Naturally, after that, we're looking into the cross, and this is a little description around my cross of planning, where you can get in touch with these 4 gates that make up 70% of the neutrino programming information in your body graph. And so there's a little nugget on the cross. And then, and this is a major factor, is down here, now we have each and every individual gate. You can see I'm a 37 in my personality sun in the first line with the second color and the fourth tone of the second base. And so going into what all of that means, that's what we can talk about directly if that's really important to you. Because each one of these layers, the base orientation, the tonal intelligence, the color transference, and the line on the surface of a specific gate, it adds a lot of nuance and understanding to what's going on in a person's life. And so basically what we're seeing here is that we have the lines for it, the exaltations and the detriments. So if you look at this one here, I believe that's Venus or Mars. I think it's Venus. And then over here is the sun. So we can see that I don't have the exaltation activated. There also isn't a detriment. Whereas if this sun was the same sun right there, then that would be the activation of the exaltation. And below you'll see there's some paragraphs, and sometimes they're longer than others. Sometimes Ra had a lot to say, and other times he had a bit less. Basically, this is looking at the line companion, which is some commentary from Ra Uruhu, about the line of a gate. So basically all of this here that you can see, all of this like page and a half or so, this page of information, this is all about the line of a gate. That's it. There's still the color, the tone, and the base underneath. So there's a lot more information we can go into, and even talking about these sharings that Ra gave around the line of a gate and being able to read that can help to gain more information into the big picture of what's going on here in the body graph, and not simply looking at isolated puzzle pieces, which is really what I'm here to do, is to take all these individual puzzle pieces like the 17th gate in the 6th line with the 4th color, and what does that actually mean? How do we actually make sense of that? Well, I mean, it's the line of the Bodhisattva. Exalted in the moon, this is the great nurturer. The nature of this position is always positive. The possibility in understanding the nature of interdependency to express opinions of value to others. You see? And so it means that I've got this 6th line going on here through that Bodhisattva line, which is really all about knowing how to find the sameness between what it means to be a leader and a follower. And it's coming through the 4th color, and this 4th color is the color of the opportunist. You see, this is the color of needs. And so this is tuning into the logical opinions of the needs for those people around me, and hopefully communicating in a role model way that I care about meeting your needs, that I care about my needs being met. I care about my ability to meet your needs so long as you care about your ability to meet my needs. You know, that's a little bit of my 3740, making a bargain in there. And so basically we see line companion commentaries for every single activation in your entire body graph, which makes up a lot of the report. This is both on the personality side and on the design side. And so you'll notice if you have the same gate in the same line, then you'll see the same commentary show up multiple times. And you don't have to reread that, of course. It's the same commentary. However, it's in a different placement from a different planet. So that can be a very interesting thing to explore, is to see the differences of how these all line up. Basically, we're going through, we see all this information from the line companion. Tons of commentary. And then there's a little bit of information on the variables. This is my outer vision cognition. Here is my hot thirst determination, my natural shores environment, my meditation sense, my probability perspective, not very much in there, and my hopeful motivation, followed by a little bit of my personality Sun Earth, my design Sun Earth, and the nodes and design nodes, which is all about the variable configuration. Last and certainly not least, we have the penta qualities, a little bit of information about how one might contribute into a group organization, whether that be in business or whether that be within the family. What qualities does this person bring to these group situations? And so that is something that I've been really excited to be able to share about, is simply whoosh, how much information is coming right at you very shortly after you sign up, so that you can have the opportunity to dive in a little bit and perhaps formulate questions for me. You know, as a generator, I do love being asked questions. And so once we get into the actual meeting and our conversation, then we're over here in neutrino design. And once again, you might see with familiarity, this is my chart. You know, I am a 1-3 emotional authority generator, or a type. And so here in the neutrino design matrix, we can look at all the details, such as I can go right here, I can see the line, and this is the exact same line companion information from Raw that was included in your report. I can see them here. And then we can also go down into, say, specific details, such as, is this gate in Pisces? What is the Godhead? What fears are related to this? What is the circuit group? You know, there's lots of details for each individual gate and piece and part. And so the key is, how does all of this connect together? And so basically the first thing that'll happen once we get into a call together is I'll ask if you could share with me a little bit about what your experience in human design has been so far. Have you experimented with your inner authority and type strategy? Do you know anything about those words that I just used? Do you know anything about your type strategy or your inner authority or your profile? And if you don't, that's wonderful. If you do, that is also wonderful. Basically, I want to get a bit of a grip and a grasp on where you are in this experimental process, which will then inform how I go through everything, because there are so many pieces of information. We could go on forever getting caught up in all kinds of little details that don't really matter in the big picture. When the real essence here is, I want to be able to tell you, like say if you have my chart here, I want to be able to tell you that from the beginning of your life, you've been looking at love and direction outside of yourself, and you've been trying to find it by pretending to be certain about something that doesn't matter, because then you can be around somebody who gives you direction in life. And oof, you know, when I first saw that that was a theme in my life from the beginning based on my birth, you know, it's like, oh, you know, I remember that in high school. You know, I could really fall head over heels for somebody, and it really didn't matter. I was simply looking for the direction outside of myself. And being able to see that I don't need to find the direction outside of myself. I can trust that there is a decision-making mechanism inside of me that'll guide me along my way. So there are tons of details here that we can go into. Tons and tons of details here. It simply is endless, because we have the sun and the earth formulating the inner character of not only who I think I am on the personality side, but also in the unconscious, forming the essence of my inner unconscious. Then we have the nodes of the moon in the conscious and the unconscious, providing the environment that I'm either going to be seeing and observing and recognizing, and also the environment my physical body has to live within. And then finally, we have this resonance square here, which is very specific mapping describing the fields of resonance and the nature of what is being activated and lit up as that inner character goes along the path of their environment. And so, of course, essentially what I will begin with, if you have no experience or practice or knowledge with human design already, then I'd begin with very simple things. I would begin with, say, what your profile is. I'm a 1-3 profile. It means that my personality is interested in being introspective and looking into things and even studying things, wanting to understand things. And then in my unconscious, I have the third line because I'm a 1-3 profile. The unconscious third line gives me trial and error, you know? It gives me deep physical lessons on the material plane. You know, I'll move into things such as you're an emotional generator. Because you're a generator aura type, you don't have to initiate in this life. You don't have to get up and go out of your way to force things to happen. You know, people tell you, make up your mind, figure out what you're going to do, go out there and make it happen. And yet the reality for a generator is you can wait to respond. You can trust that you have an electromagnetic vortex all around you that is attracting what is coming your way and is becoming enfolded in the envelope of what your aura is, that you are deeply attractive and you are pulling in what belongs to you. And that your body will respond to yes or no, uh-huh or uh-uh. And that you can trust that response as a sorting mechanism for your reality. And the thing is that you're also emotional. You see, you've got this 1949 connecting the 952 as part of an emotional authority sacral being. And with the emotions defined, you have no truth available in the now. Meaning you have to wait for clarity. And that there's right now, and oh, that feels really powerful. Let's see what it feels like tomorrow. Do I still want to do that thing? Okay, maybe I'll try it out. Is to experiment a little bit with waiting. That's the primary theme we see in all the human design charts, is to wait for this or to wait for that. And basically what happens when I have a chart up here is that I can say specifically what you're waiting for. I can share a little bit about what's going on the inside, so you can see the outside more clearly and reflect it back at others. So yeah, that's a basic little summary overview of what's going to happen when you sign up for a session with me, when you sign up for a Dharma science broadcast session, when you sign up for a private consultation. You know, all these big fancy words is really not a big deal. We can have a conversation, we can dive into the details, we can talk about what really matters in this life. And we can take another step forward into experimenting with what it means to live the good life. To truly be what we are here to be on this planet, what we were born to be, not simply to be another cog in the machine of the man's world that is generating profit and revenue over everything else. We can learn how to coexist with each other. We can learn how to accept who we are as unique individuals, and in doing so, that allows the coexisting with others. Because I love myself and I give myself the space and time to make decisions as myself. And in doing so, I honor the same within you. I wish that you can make decisions correctly as yourself. And I will do everything I can to support that possibility in your life, so that even when hard times come and challenges arise, they can be deeply meaningful. And really, you can learn something about these experiences in life and carry that learning forward in a good way. So that's all for now. Bye-bye. Take care. If you have enjoyed the show and would like to learn more about how all of this applies specifically to you, then kindly refer to the link in this video's description, Private Consultation. Here, we can dive into all of the details together in a recorded call. May your signature vibration of satisfaction, success, peace, and surprise find you in a good way.